Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Jedi Luke is here and not very many people have him, frankly. And for those of you who do have him, however, or who want to have him eventually, everyone wants him. I mean, frankly, if you like Star Wars, you probably want Jedi Luke. So, right now, he's kind of in a weird place because he doesn't really have any set things that he does. Like it seems like maybe he's waiting on another character to come out, kind of like Malak did with Darth Revan. Like Darth Revan was good, and then Malak came out and he was awesome. And I don't know what exactly is going to happen with that, but I will say that right now, those of us who have Relic 7 Luke don't necessarily have a perfect spot for him. I haven't seen anything perfect, and so I've been working really hard on trying to find a way to use him to counter Supreme Leader Kylo. I know there are a couple other smaller videos out there. Maybe there are other bigger videos. I will say I've been trying to follow along with what other people are doing, and all of my testing has led me in a few different directions than other people have shown in their videos, and so I'm going to show you guys my string. What I did about 20 fights where I just basically failed every single time against Supreme Leader Kylo. I fought against the same one every time just to kind of keep it consistent, and eventually I came up with kind of a formula of what to do when you're facing the double taunting Supreme Leader Kylo variants. So I'm going to show you guys multiple instances of that. I ran about 5 in a row toward the end, and I won 4 out of those 5. So I'll show you all 5 of them, and then I'm going to show you the variant for just a single taunt with Supreme Leader Kylo, which is considerably cheaper and easier to counter. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's jump into the video. Alright, so you'll see the team that I am facing is targeted with the white box around it. Supreme Leader Kylo, the 2 taunting tanks, and Hux with Red Trooper. Now the first thing you'll notice is that this team is not necessarily very cheap. Jedi Revan and General Skywalker and Luke, they're all kind of in-demand characters, so to speak, and General Skywalker can be mitigated a little bit with Shock T and the clones. They can counter most things that General Skywalker can, frankly. And then Jedi Revan, there's enough things missing from this squad that a Bastila with Jolie squad is actually going to be pretty viable as well, along with Grandmaster Yoda. The other thing I want to point out is that I'm using mods that are not necessarily optimized. These are the mods that are currently on my squad for this current Grand Arena lock, and I'm testing because I want to make sure that I can beat any Supreme Leader Kylo teams that I'm going to face. And frankly, you guys are sick of seeing God mods on all of these characters. You probably just want to see some actual realistic mods. So this is about as realistic as they get, for better or worse. Now, immediately you'll notice that General Skywalker is targeted by Supreme Leader Kylo to stun 100% of the time. That's just built in. That's how it works, and we just have to operate around that. So my General Skywalker just gets taken out for the first time. Savior is triggered. You put Master's Training on Luke, and now we have a decision. Do we target Red Trooper or Hux? And even though Red Trooper can do a ton of damage to this team, I found that it was a disaster to target Red Trooper. You always basically want to target Hux if you can, which if you can't, then I feel sorry for you. But anyways, you target him. He's not going to die most likely because you only have one person who hits actually hard. And now another decision item. I usually like to do the Force trick or the mind trick with Obi-Wan. Instead, I taunt here because we don't want to lose mastery, and Supreme Leader Kylo's next move is his AoE, so you lose mastery on Old Ben, and that doesn't matter. And then take a minute, use Jedi Revan's turn meter swap with the person who has the highest turn meter currently, which in this case was General Skywalker. We just want Jedi Revan to take another turn as quick as we can. We want his mark to get back where we can. Do the AoE mind trick from Old Ben if you can, and then Jedi Revan gets another turn and marks Sith Trooper. Now I know that it sucks to leave Hux alone, but you'll see here that you have an opportunity. So now Sith Trooper, don't finish him off either. Target one of these other tanks and call General Skywalker to assist, and now we get 4 guys in one shot. So you do the AoE from General Skywalker, he kills everyone, and Kylo Ren does not have his ultimate yet, and the whole goal, like, it's just a race basically. You want to keep him from getting his ultimate. That is obviously not going to always happen, but I did put Master's Training on General Skywalker. That's probably a little optimistic, frankly, but it is what it is. So Old Ben died. He healed General Skywalker, actually, and now we're just hammering on Supreme Leader Kylo, of course, as he is invulnerable. He stuns General Skywalker one more time, and Skywalker's just basically useless at this point. So we're just trying to do damage to him. Skywalker dies, and it's looking like another fail on my end. But after a little bit of everything, you can see I'm pretty sure this would be a win. So I wanted to keep practicing against this team though, so I forfeited. Now we're going to see this again. No more freeze frames for this. We'll go full motion, the exact same steps though. So Skywalker gets killed, Savior's activated or triggered, Master's Training on Luke, and now Old Ben, or rather we mark Hux. Old Ben decides he wants to taunt and sacrifice himself early before he tricks any minds, and so we're just operating here, trying to do the same thing. So we get the stun off with Luke, we do an AoE, swapping turn meter, we put up Foresight from Hermit Yoda, and that makes them miss a little bit, and we do mind tricks, and this is all very smooth. Sometimes, I mean, it just depends. There are RNG elements here, of course, but in this case, everything went much smoother than the first run. I believe that maybe I took a couple slightly different steps here, maybe traded turn meter with Hermit Yoda at some point, but one way or another, we are good to go at this point. So if we can just kill Supreme Leader Kylo, which we can, then we can forfeit and try again, spending so many crystals, ruinous numbers of crystals, in fact. So again, this is the 3rd attempt. General Skywalker gets killed, triggers Savior, and now we've trained Luke once again in how to be a Jedi, and we mark Hux because he likes to be marked, and even if he doesn't, then it's all fair game because his capital ship marks people, so he can't complain. And anyways, we are going to do the stun. Everyone gets stunned, of course. You swap turn meter with the highest. Hermit Yoda goes, puts up Foresight on everyone, and takes a poke at Hux. If we had killed Hux there, note, Red Trooper is currently stunned and would just activate and not actually end up taking a turn. So now we have a decision. Luke ended up just deciding to kill Red Trooper there instead of going for the 2-fer or 4-fer, whatever it is, 3-fer that General Skywalker offers. But at this point, we want to swap turn meter one more time with the highest turn meter, just so Jedi Revan gets another turn as quick as he can. And so now that it's just Kylo, if he's not taunting anymore, if Kylo Ren Unmasked is not taunting anymore, then we can just ignore him and take out Kylo. Now this is my loss, and I'm going to show you guys. I did basically the exact same stuff. So General Skywalker once again auto targeted, get Master's Training on Luke, and mark Hux, and now, so we're taunting with Old Ben. Now this is the big change. Red Trooper, instead of just doing the buff and giving everyone advantage, instead, for some reason, he chooses, other than contrary to what he normally does. He does his AoE, and look at Supreme Leader Kylo's ultimate meter. Now that's different than any other time here, and that's because Red Trooper did something different. He didn't do something, as far as I can tell, there's no reason he did his AoE first instead of giving the buffs to everyone, but as you can see, it's disastrous. Jedi Revan is gone. We barely missed getting completely wiped out by that AoE just because we have Foresight up. And one thing I do want to point out though, so Jedi Revan's gone, and that probably means we're not going to win, but I wanted to play it out and just see just how much damage we can do. And because Luke has already called General Skywalker to assist with whatever that move is, we're actually doing a bunch of damage to these guys. So we actually ended up killing all those guys from counters, and eventually, of course, I did lose. You guys don't need to see that, but this method is actually pretty effective. Even when RNG gets poor, it ends up being pretty good. So the fifth and final attempt for this, and we're doing the exact same thing over and over again, just repetition here. One thing I do want to point out, you guys don't need me to call out the same things every time. I did test this on someone, and of course my video got corrupted when I faced someone else with a slower Hux, like with a really slow Hux, where I actually ended up going before their Hux got to go. And what I found was you don't want to target Hux in that circumstance. If Hux is slow enough that he can be targeted by Revan before Scott he calls an assist or anything, you actually just want to let Hux have his head and give Supreme Leader Kylo another turn. So just target Red Trooper in that case, and things go smoothly again. And so I did that a couple times, and like I said, my video was corrupted, can't show you guys, and I am actually literally out of attempts. After today, I did like 25 or 30, whatever the max is, and I had no idea there was even a max to test, but there it is. So there's the counter to double taunt. Now I'm going to show you guys if there's only one taunting tank in a group, then things get a little bit easier, significantly easier, in fact. And I tried to use General Skywalker against this composition, and he actually fails really hard. For whatever reason, he just really struggles. And so I added Bastila Shan instead, and you'll see why. I'm going to do a couple freeze frames now. Immediately there's something different. You see Jedi Revan gets targeted here. He gets targeted 100% of the time, just like General Skywalker normally would. So he triggers Savior. Even though he's Relic 5 and has almost 100k effective health, he still dies. So mark Hux as we did previously. If we can kill him, that's great, but here's the difference. So now Bastila has her second special that causes buff immunity, and it also dispels, it causes stun, it does all sorts of neat things. And that buff immunity is great because now their one taunting tank can't actually taunt. Now another difference is I'm doing a mind trick with Old Ben here, and that's mostly just because it's fun. I don't know. He probably should have done his taunt, but Jedi Revan is throwing his saber, he's swapping turn meter, and the thing that is important about that is now he has Foresight, and Foresight is huge in this matchup because he's being targeted all the time. So Kylo goes in, he has ability block, so he can't do anything, and he targets Revan. He misses because he has Foresight up, and now Hermit Yoda refreshes the Foresight, and now we're just going to kill all the guys on the side here, get a taunt up with Old Ben, and the AoE doesn't do anything because we have Foresight, and now Old Ben can die. That'll actually end up helping us, even if banners aren't great for Grand Arena, and we can just target. Now, one thing I did, I'm freeze framing one more time. Note, if he's fully Zetaed, he can't be marked. Like, you can mark him, you can do the move on him, but he doesn't have mark. Like, he can't have a taunt of any type, including a mark like that. So we have buff immunity on him, and that's great. Look at how low his ultimate meter is. It's like non-existent. They've barely taken a turn, and that's all for swapping Bastila out. I tried this about 3 times with General Skywalker, thinking it would just be an easy win as well, but Bastila actually makes it so much easier. General Skywalker just ends up dying pretty quick and easy. So, for whatever that's worth, the Bastila is easier, it's a cheaper counter, and you get to keep General Skywalker. So now this is just a replay. I'm going to give my final thoughts, and then we'll call it good. So I think that this is going to be a good counter. I'm not trying to say that this is the ultimate counter. There's probably already been something out there that's been developed that's better than this. Frankly, I'm not trying to sell this as the one and only counter. All I'm trying to do is kind of help people along the way of theory crafting. I'm an okay theory crafter. I really want to have a counter with Jedi Luke, and I want one team that can specifically take out a galactic legend. And if I can do that with this team, then that's great. If Shaak Ti has to reclaim the clones kind of semi-permanently, I'm actually okay with that. And so this is my answer so far. Let me know in the comments if you have better ideas, if you know of better videos, and please don't just give me like clickbait videos. They really frustrate me. The ones that cherry pick, the guys who say, yeah, totally, you can win every time using this, and then it's non-replicatable. That really frustrates me. That I'm trying to give a real picture of actual results here. So please respect that and link me things that are actually real. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna let you go now. Thank you all for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails.